Do you want to study in the US in a wonderful campus with excellent education quality? Then this live stream is for you. Hi, and thank you for joining our live stream, Louisiana State University Fears for the Future. My name is Hugo Bustamante, Recruitment Manager for Global Studies. Global Studies is an educational agency which helps you to apply to different destinations in Europe. You can apply to Canada, you can apply to USA, UK, Germany, France, Italy, and many, many other destinations. You just have to contact us. You have here our webpage, our email address, and our WhatsApp number. And ask for your free guidance session. Don't forget to follow us in our social media. We are in X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And you will know more about the different options we have to offer you. Today, we are with Marina Pereira. She's Managing Director of LSU Global. Hi, Marina. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Hi. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us. And today we have a short video introduction, and we're going to do it.
My name is Diego Fajardo Reyes. I am a student from San Pedro Sula, Honduras. I arrived to LSU Global in the fall of 2020 during COVID with a major in accounting. Since the time I came, I've met so many amazing people, made the most amazing memories ever, and have had some of the greatest experiences I've never thought I had. After realizing how important it is for new students like me to have the support offered by the Global Office, I took the decision to offer my help with welcoming new students to campus and served as Global Orientation Leader several times. I've done it 2 years and it's been the best. I've gotten the opportunity to help new students and to help them accommodate in a new country with new experiences and new opportunities. Also, I organize Latino tailgates for everybody. Invited to have a good time before football games. You know, the LSU Tigers are the biggest thing in Louisiana, so it's super fun. And remember, work hard, play hard, and go Tigers.
Well, this is a short video introduction. I want to present you again to Marina Pereira. She's Managing Director of LSU Global. Marina Pereira serves as the Managing Director of LSU Global. She has been at LSU for over 25 years and is now on campus, is known on campus as the fairy godmother of all the international students. Marina, hi, thank you for being with us again. It is a pleasure to have you here. And we have here a presentation, and please, we want you to tell us more about what LSU has for us.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So you saw the TikTok video, and I specifically chose that video for you because it was made by the student for us. And I didn't want to have like a professional video that, that normally you can see on YouTube. LSU has a whole YouTube channel if you'd like to learn more and watch videos about different departments, different things. But Diego is our student. He's actually graduating this May after being here for 4 years. And so I think that he did a good job of talking about his experience here at LSU and just how close-knit of a community we have here for international students, and how my office specifically helps international students like you that arrive on campus and are all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they say, and don't know much and a little bit scared, a little bit excited. And that's our job, is to help you through the process in the first year. Please go to the next slide. So for those of you that maybe have never heard of LSU, don't know where we are located in the state of Louisiana, all the way down south on the banks of the Mississippi River. And Baton Rouge is a medium-sized town. It's not too big, not too small. It is the capital of the state, and we're about an hour away from the big city of New Orleans, which is obviously famous for its Mardi Gras parades, which is called Carnival usually in Latin American countries. And I'll tell you that Latin American students love coming here to LSU because the weather here reminds them of their home. It is kind of very warm most of the year. It is beautiful in the winter. It does not snow. I have a lot of students that transfer actually to LSU from cities like Chicago and New York because they find that once the weather gets really cold, they find it very difficult to function in a lot of snow and cold weather. And also big cities can be a little scary and impersonal, whereas LSU is a very warm, friendly campus with great weather and great people as well. Go ahead to the next slide. So LSU itself is called the flagship university, which means that it is the biggest and the best university in the state of Louisiana. And so we are considered to be a medium-sized public university with about 32,000 students enrolled. Now, you might say, well, 32,000 students, that is a huge campus. And it is quite big, but in the United States, there are roughly about 5,000 universities and colleges. So they range anywhere from a couple thousand students to up to 100,000 students on campus at the biggest universities. So that's why we are sort of the happy medium between a super small campus that almost feels like a high school and a super huge campus that just feels like a city in itself. And among these 5,000 universities in the United States, LSU is ranked in the top 5% of all the colleges and universities, which is a big honor. And it talks about the quality of our programs and the quality of student life as well. Go ahead. One of the things I like to talk about is just the variety. When you arrive on a campus the size of LSU, you have access to close to 300 options of different majors. So I'll tell you a little statistic. An average American college student changes their major 2.3 times during their attendance. And so that is actually a very common thing in the United States, and that is done on purpose because a lot of times what we think we want to do in high school and what our parents are telling us we should do and what our friends are doing, we arrive on a college campus with an idea to major in something. But then once we come to campus and we start taking classes and we are exposed to different things, and maybe we are exposed to things we have never even heard before, like geology or landscape architecture or entrepreneurship or courses that you've never heard, you've never taken in high school. And suddenly you might discover a different side of yourself and a new passion and a new interest. And so being at a school like LSU allows you to explore the different interests that you might have academically. And it also allows you to kind of tailor your program. So just to give you an example, sometimes students arrive with an intention to major, for example, in computer science, right? And so they come here and they start taking computer science classes, and then they realize, I actually really love video games, and that is what kind of prompted my interest in computer science. Well, guess what? We have a minor in digital media and arts and design courses that specifically have to do with video game design. So a student in computer science might add a concentration or even a minor in video game design to their degree. So already they're kind of customizing their interest and they're refining it to become a better expert at that particular thing. So that is very, very common. And I want to be sure that you understand that when you arrive to campus, don't be surprised if you discover something new and interesting that sparks your academic flame. Go ahead to the next slide. One of our most popular colleges is the College of Engineering, and that is because LSU, being the biggest university and being on the banks of the Mississippi River, is located very close to hundreds of major engineering companies, chemical companies, petroleum companies, computer companies that actually pump a lot of funds into research and a lot of money into developing engineers to work at those companies. And so our students have the luxury and the privilege of working side by side with the industry leaders here on campus. So for example, the engineering building that we have is considered to be the largest engineering building on a college campus in the United States. And a company like BASF, which is a German company who have their largest North American factory located right here on the banks of the Mississippi River, about 10 kilometers from campus, donates about $5 million every single year towards research in the chemical industry. So our students in the chemical engineering program and the petroleum engineering program and across all engineering programs have access to industry equipment, have access to research opportunities through the BSF labs that are located on our campus. So you see in these pictures, these are actually our students that we took pictures of. These are not models. And so what you will want to relay through these pictures is the sort of the hands-on learning that takes place here. And a huge part of your engineering career will be doing projects, will be doing research, will be doing practical things that you can take with you when you go on to look for a job. Go on to the next slide, please. One of our biggest and most famous engineering majors is petroleum engineering. It is ranked number 3 in the United States. And one of the reasons why it is considered to be so famous and popular is because LSU is the only university in the world that has an actual functioning oil rig on our campus. Just think about that for a minute. The picture right there in the middle shows the facility, and you see the big tower. That's actually a drilling mechanism. There is a well that is 3 kilometers deep on our campus, guys, where students learn how to drill for oil, how to extract for oil, how to troubleshoot equipment, piping. And then you see the picture of my student from Nigeria on the left-hand corner working with actual equipment that was donated from Schlumberger, which is a big chemical company. And so that is the oil refining equipment. So as part of your engineering curriculum, you will be required to actually work in this facility and learn hands-on how to extract oil, how to drill for oil, how to discover oil. And then once it is extracted, how to refine it to make the final product that goes into your cars. Excuse me. So that is quite amazing. Let's go to the next slide, please. I just mentioned a variety of companies that are right next door. And I do want to talk a little bit about IBM that opened a service center in Baton Rouge a little while ago. And they have donated over $50 million to our computer science program. And so that is why a lot of students come to LSU from all over the world to study computer science, because IBM, again, being right next door, offers a lot of internship opportunities, employment opportunities, as well as, equipment and money to do research and hands-on learning. Another big company that you might have heard of is EA Sports, Electronic Entertainment Sports. And so that's the company that produces FIFA, that produces Madden NFL, NBA 2K, Formula One. Some of you may probably like to play these games, and these games are extremely popular all over the world. Well, guess what? This company, EA Sports, has a beta testing facility on our campus. And so what that means is students in the computer science program, as well as video game design program, they get to test new versions of these video games right on this campus before it is released officially to the public. So it is super cool and something you might be interested in. Let's go to the next slide, please. And again, just to kind of reiterate this point very clearly here, if you are an engineering major at LSU, you will have access to the facilities, to the research opportunities, as well as internships, to all these major companies and more. I cannot list all the companies here. I just put on the slide the ones that are probably the most famous ones. And it's an amazing opportunity for students to have this on their resume before graduation. Let's go to the next slide, please. So another one that I'd love to highlight that is sort of a hidden gem here, and that a lot of students come to LSU for, is the art and design programs. And again, very, very high ranked programs. Number 1 in the United States for the last 10 years in landscape architecture, which is something you may not have had exposure to, but it is a branch of architecture that deals with urban planning and design and outdoor spaces specifically. It's a very coveted degree. There's not very many programs in the world that teach you how to be a landscape architect. It is very, very competitive and very prestigious. So maybe look into that. If you're interested in art and design and urban planning, that is maybe something that will be your destiny. Interior design is ranked number 5. Animation is ranked number 14. And you might see on the slide, I have pictures of Madagascar, Toy Story 3. And that is because LSU students in the animation program were part of the teams that produced these movies and actually animated those movies. So a little bit more on the computer science, digital art side, the movie Transformers as well as Mandalorian were also made here at LSU with our own students. So if you're interested in art and design, graphic art, maybe animation, maybe architecture, look it up and see this might be just the place for you. Let's go to the next slide, please. I also love to talk about music and dramatic arts, which is something probably off the beaten path, again, for a large public institution. But our theater program is ranked number 2 in the country. So they have a film and television major that you can have different concentrations in producing, in screenwriting, in performance arts, in stage design. So a lot of different facets of theater programs are taught here to students. And students, again, when they graduate, they have professional experience hours on their resume. So when you graduate, and if you want to work in any kind of entertainment industry, theater or film and television, you will already have on your resume practical experience. Let's go to the next slide, please. So real world experience is not just something that we talk about. It is something that almost every single student that graduates from here receives prior to graduation. So I talked about petroleum engineering students, of course, working in the lab. Our students in the business college have this practical course that teaches them investments using LSU's Tiger Fund. And so they learn in their classroom how to invest this money in the stock market and how to manage a portfolio, as well as maybe have a business startup through the LSU incubator program. The students that would like to be veterinarians have access to an animal shelter and a real life hospital here on campus, as well as Mike the Tiger, who I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But other majors, like for example, Kate, pictured here, she's from Vietnam. She's a marketing major, and she actually found an internship in her second year with Southwest Advantage doing their marketing materials. Natalie from Venezuela, biological engineering, she landed a very, very prestigious internship with General Electric in the summer. Daniel there, he was a major in civil engineering. In his freshman year, he was able to secure a work internship opportunity with a local cement company. Zhu from China here, an accounting major, he would go home for the summers to China, and he was able to actually use that opportunity to be home in China to get some business work experience back in China. So again, this is very encouraged across all the majors. Let's go to the next slide, please. A lot of our students, when they come to LSU and they kind of settle in after the first year and they're doing well in classes, they find that actually it is very common for students to work while they're studying, and you are allowed to work on campus up to 20 hours a week as an international student. And so that is something very common. And on top of getting practical experience for your resume, you could also make a little bit of money and use that money to buy books or kind of support yourself, so you don't have to ask your parents for allowance every single month. So for example, Min from Vietnam, he was tutoring people in economics classes because that is something he really liked and was good at. Mercedes from Panama, she worked in the environmental science lab and used to go do sampling for her professors to help them do research. Ibrahim from Egypt, he worked in IT services that was very closely related to his electrical engineering major. Maria from Mexico, she was an international trade and finance major. She found a job actually at the LSU Recreation Center, which is kind of a fitness facility. And she just graduated and landed an amazing job with Chicago Cubs, which is just fantastic. Let's go to the next slide, please. I have to talk about Mike the Tiger. I cannot talk about LSU without talking about my favorite student here. Pictured here is Mike the Seventh. He's an actual live tiger that lives on our campus. He has a beautiful $2 million sanctuary. The students in the vet school take care of him. They make sure that he's healthy and happy and entertained and well taken care of. He has a personal dentist, vet, nutritionist. He's a rescue tiger. LSU is really big in tiger conservation funds, and they participate a lot in the rescue efforts of wild tigers. And he has a very, very active Instagram account where the students that take care of him post almost daily content about the funny things he does, and he's a beautiful animal in general. So please check it out, and you will be surprised how entertaining it is. Let's go to the next slide, please. I do love to talk about the fact, I already talked a little bit about the theater program, but going along with that theme, LSU is actually home to a lot of movies that are filmed in Hollywood, and Hollywood studios come to Louisiana because they get some very lucrative tax breaks, actually, in the state of Louisiana to film movies. And one of the most famous movies that I like to talk about that is going to be a homework today is to go home and watch the movie called Pitch Perfect. And it's a movie, the first and the second installment of the movie Pitch Perfect was filmed on this campus. And it's actually kind of almost a very true story about a girl who is shy and arrives on campus, doesn't know too many people, wants to meet people, wants to join a club. And so she joins an a cappella group and meets a lot of people that way. So that's kind of sort of, obviously it's a fictional character in the story. But when you watch that movie, you will see the campus. She's on campus the entire time. She lives in the dorms. She goes to the library. She goes to class. She performs in the theater. And it will also give you an idea of like a student life journey and, the fact that there's more to being at a university campus than just going to class. There's a very, very active social life that happens. There are a lot of clubs that students participate in. And so I encourage you to watch that movie. Let's go to the next slide, please. And so, hold on just a second, please. I'm so sorry. I have a student here. Hey, can you come back in 15 minutes, please? Thank you. One of the things I do love to talk about is the fact that LSU has a very large network of alumni that are very famous from LSU. And so one of them, for example, is Mr. Carlos Roberto Flores. He is a former president of the country of Honduras. I got to meet him when I traveled there. He graduated from LSU with a degree in agricultural economics back in the late 70s. And so he's a big proponent of, that's one of the majors I did not talk about is agriculture. And obviously in most places of the world, agriculture is a very important part of its economy. And Honduras, of course, agriculture is the number one industry. So if that is something you're interested in, let me know. Don Lemon, he was a CNN anchor. Donna Brazil was a political campaign strategist for President Obama. James Carville, pictured here in the left-hand corner, he is a political advisor. He actually teaches political communications here at LSU. And he was a chief campaign advisor to President Clinton and President Obama when they ran their campaign. So we have some pretty big names around here that we talk about. Go ahead to the next slide. I talked a little bit about student life and things to do here at LSU apart from going to class. And one of the most popular things that students enjoy here is our University Recreation Center. And the Recreation Center is kind of a fitness facility, but calling it a fitness facility does not even begin to describe the size and the variety of activities that you will have access to. It is the largest recreational center on a college campus in the United States. It boasts 3 swimming pools just outside, and then there's some swimming pools inside. There's a track that runs through the recreation center that is close to a half a mile long inside. Every kind of sports activity. There's even an indoor soccer court. There's like 10 basketball courts, every kind of possible sports, every kind of equipment. And they also offer daily classes in everything from Zumba to yoga to kickboxing, powerlifting, whatever you're interested in. So that is something we're very proud of, and a lot of students love to go and take this opportunity to live a healthy lifestyle and work out and meet friends as well. Next slide, please. And of course, LSU cannot, when you talk to anybody in the United States about LSU, they talk about the great athletic programs. Shaquille O'Neal is our alum. He's a very famous guy all over the world. He was actually just here last week on campus. We had a senior night for our basketball programs, and he was there to cheer on the students. Our women's basketball team has just won a national championship, and is last year. I was there. I went to the Dallas final to watch them win, and they are on their way again. They're very highly ranked and are doing amazing. The baseball team won a national championship. Our football team, of course, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, those guys are legends from the 2019 championship team. And the football is, as you saw in Diego's TikTok, is a religion here pretty much. And in the fall semester, every Saturday for a home game, there's a huge party that takes place on campus, and most of Baton Rouge and LSU, of course, is at the stadium cheering on the Tigers. Let's go to the next slide. And that's about it, guys. And just to kind of talk a little bit about our program again, LSU Global is specifically designed for international students in their first year. We kind of help you figure out the campus. We help you understand what classes you need to schedule, where to go for help. We advise you if you're having issues. We have tutoring in our office here. So we are here to serve you. We're here to help you through your first year, which is the most challenging usually. But you always have this office to come into and ask any question that you have and get help. So I'm looking forward to your questions, guys.
Thank you, Marina. And yes, we have some questions, please, for you. What can you tell us, please, about the cost of the programs at LSU?
Of course. So do you want me to just go through the different costs? Is that the question?
Well, the question was about is a general idea about the costs.
Okay, sure. Of course. So when international students come to LSU, you will need to present a bank statement that shows that you are able to support yourself while you're here. And so the general cost, the tuition and fees, there's different things, right? There's tuition and fees, there's housing, there's dining, there's insurance and personal expenses. Tuition and fees are about roughly $30,000 per year. Housing, you are required to live on campus in your first year, and you are required to have a meal plan. After the first year, most students actually decide to move off campus, which is a little bit cheaper and a little bit more comfortable. But in the first year, housing and dining will cost you roughly about $12,000. And then, of course, you have the mandatory health insurance and personal expenses. So you would need to show about $45,000 in your bank account in order to receive the Form I-20, which you are required to have in order to get a student visa at the embassy.
Thank you, Marina. And could you please tell us about the English tests that are accepted?
Of course. So in order to apply and be accepted at LSU, you will need to submit your transcripts from high school, and you do not need to wait until you finish high school. So if you are right now in your last senior year and you still have a semester to finish, you don't have to wait till you finish it. You can go ahead and submit what you have right now for all your high school years. And you do need to have about a 3.0 equivalent GPA, which is about a B average, whatever is the grading system in your country. And then we do need to have a proof of English proficiency. And the tests that we accept are TOEFL test, which is pretty standard. You do need to have about a 79 score on the TOEFL. We accept IELTS as well, and you need about 6.0, 6.5 on the IELTS. We accept Duolingo, and the average score is about 100 that we look for. So there's a few other tests that we can do, but I think most students take those tests, and Duolingo is the latest one that is actually very convenient for you, because you could take it online, being proctored, and it's something, TOEFL, IELTS, you kind of have to wait, make sure there's a testing date. It's only offered maybe a few times a year. You have to maybe travel to a bigger city if it's not offered where you are. But Duolingo, I think, is a better option for students that don't live in a big city and maybe don't have very easy access to those tests. We also accept SAT and ACT, but they're not required for admission. But if you did take SAT or ACT, we can use those scores instead of TOEFL or IELTS or Duolingo.
Thank you, Marina. And we do have another question. It says, can you please give us an idea about classes timetables? How many days the students must attend classes during the week?
Okay, so being a student is a full-time job, right? So when you are here, you are full-time dedicated to your studies. So probably in high school, you're used to a schedule where you start school, for example, at 8 o'clock, and then you finish school at 3 o'clock, and you're in classes every single minute with little breaks with a lunch, maybe. So you're in class like 7 hours a day, every single day. In the United States, it does not work exactly that way. So usually students would register for an average of 5 classes per semester. And that means they would have about, for each class, there's about 3 hours of lecture per week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 hour a day, you would have a lecture in each class. So you'll have about 15 hours of lectures per week. So that doesn't seem like much. You might say, well, that's only like 3 to 4 hours a day. That's not that heavy of a load. That doesn't seem like a lot of work. Well, in college, you are actually expected, for every hour of lecture, you are expected to do about 2 to 3 hours of homework and independent studying. So when you add all those hours up between lecture time as well as homework and independent study, you will have approximately, on average, about 60 hours a week of dedicated to your studies. So if you calculate that, that's 10 hours a day for 6 days a week. So that is a lot. And of course, some weeks it varies. Some weeks you will have projects due and exams at that time, so you'll study more for certain classes. Some weeks you'll have a little bit less if you just finished the test. So it fluctuates, but the whole point of being in the United States in a university setting is that you learn, along with the things that you learn in the classroom, the biggest skill you learn is how to organize your time and how to be independent in your skills in your academic career, and how to sort of anticipate what's coming and how to manage yourself, pretty much. The professors are here to teach you the material, but it is up to you to really take the responsibility for your independent time and how you manage your time. So, if you are done and you don't have anything coming up, you might go out and, watch a movie with friends on a Wednesday night for 3 hours. Or sometimes on a Saturday and Sunday, if you have a big week coming up and a lot of tests, you are not able to do anything but study all day long, every Saturday and Sunday. So it really depends. But you will be busy here, I promise you. You will not be bored, that's for sure.
Thank you, Marina. And there is another question. It is about what are the scholarship options for international students?
So we do have some scholarships for first year. That's kind of a case-by-case basis, and it depends on your grades, it depends on your scores, there's a variety of factors. And so, yes, absolutely, you can go ahead. Once you apply, then when we look at your documents, we can kind of get a better idea and let you know what you're eligible for.
Thank you, Marina. I think there are no more questions right now. And thank you. Thank you, Marina, for the time you gave us, all this explanation. And all the students, all the people interested in studying with LSU, this is your chance. Something else, please, Marina. The intakes you have available, which ones are?
So our academic year starts about mid-August. So it fluctuates, it's not exactly the same date every year, but usually the fall semester starts the third week of August or so. So you would have to be on campus approximately in the middle of August, like about August 15th, August 18th, something like that. There is an orientation for about a week before you start your classes. So we kind of take care of you. We teach you what you need to know. We help you register for classes. We help you understand how things work here. We help you settle into your dorm. And then the fall semester goes from the end of August to the beginning of December. And there is a Thanksgiving break and a fall break in the middle, but most students just stay here and kind of catch up on their work or just take a break. And then there is about a month break between the fall semester and the spring semester. So you'd have from mid-December to about mid-January where you can go home. Most students go home. Of course, there's Christmas, there's New Year, holidays. And so the spring semester, you can start in the spring as well. The spring semester starts in about mid-January and goes through mid-May or so. So those are the 2 semesters that we have intakes for. Most of the students, most of the American students, as well as international students, they do prefer to start in the fall because that's considered sort of the beginning of the academic year. But sometimes I know that in Latin America, some of the schools run on a different schedule. So they don't run on an American August to May schedule. They run on a more of a calendar schedule of January through December. So if your school year ends in December and you would like to start in January, that is also an option. And we have a lot of students starting in January as well.
Oh, perfect. Perfect, Marina. And that is really important because we are here as Global Studies available for the students that want to apply to LSU. And we will help you with all the application process. LSU is working with us to help you to do this a real possibility that
yes,
you can.
And Hugo, I would like to kind of talk a little bit about the application process because some
Yes.
students don't understand. It's very confusing when you come from another country. The American application system can be very daunting and scary and very long and complicated, and you need so many documents, and what do I do? So that's why we partner with places like Global Studies here, is that we kind of explain to them how to simplify the process and how to help students make it as easy as possible. So if you apply directly to LSU, it would take you hours and hours, just by yourself completing the application. What if you do it wrong? What if you don't upload the right documents? What if you don't know? What if you don't understand? There's a lot of questions that are not meant for international students that really confuse international students, that are really meant for US students. So when we do partner with you, Hugo, and your company, we really explain to them, okay, listen, the student just needs to complete a very simple 1-page application, just basic, name and address and what they want to study and when they want to come. And then just go ahead and collect the transcript and the scores, and that's it. That's it. So, and then you take care of the rest. We take care of the rest here. We fill in the gaps and make sure that it's all correct. And then on top of that, additionally, when you do get accepted, and you hear much faster, so we're able to process these applications. So normally if you apply directly, it might take you months and months to hear back because there's thousands and thousands of applications that are going through. But for our international students, we do prioritize them. And when you apply with Hugo to LSU, you will hear back within a couple of weeks about your acceptance. And then on top of that, when you do get that acceptance, and you do get your I-20, and also Hugo will help you figure out what immigration documents you need. That's another piece, right? You need the bank statement, you need certificate of finance, you need I-20, like all these forms that might be just so confusing and scary. And then your parents have to provide these documents. They might not speak English. Like, what do we do? So that's exactly why it is so much easier to go through Global here, to make sure that they will double check everything, so you do not delay and do not make any mistakes. And then on top of that, once you do get these documents back, you do get your admission letter, you do get your I-20, guess what? They will also help you apply for the visa, which is another confusing part, right? How do I submit the application? If you make it incorrectly, they won't even call you for an interview. And they will help you prepare for the interview. Like, what kind of questions do they usually ask? How do I answer those questions? What if I get scared? What if I don't understand? It's always so helpful to have somebody hold your hand and tell you exactly what you need in your own language, and simplify it as much as possible. So that way you're not stressed out about all of that.
Yes, as Marina said, we are here to help you with all this application process. So contact us. We will be happy to help you with all the application process. Marina, it is a pleasure for us to have you with us, and thank you for this time. And well, we hope to have you soon in another live stream. Thank you for your help.
Absolutely. You are welcome. Now, listen, if one of you is interested and want to talk to your parents, Hugo, just let me know. I'll be happy to. I know I covered a few of the majors, but like I said, we have close to 300 different majors here. So if there's something maybe I did not mention, maybe something you have a question about, please ask the question. If you don't ask the question, we don't know how to answer it. And Hugo and I will work together to make sure that you have all your questions answered and that you have it clear exactly how to proceed. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and we will see you soon again. Bye.